Hello, Soul Family. This is Chris Alicia from Intentionality, coming to you today with another message of light and love in this time. I am in deep, deep gratitude for this beautiful spring, for the time and ability to really slow down and dig into old patterns, to old fears, to insecurities that I haven't released yet. I am grateful to have the time to do this right now. I always say, and anybody who's watched my show on Awake TV or any of these other recordings, that the universe is not always gentle with those who don't listen. When we ignore the messages, the warnings of spirit to go inside, to focus on love, to focus on kindness to each other, to focus on realigning ourselves with our higher purpose. When we ignore those things, the universe is going to find a way to make us listen. Now, there has been many times in my life where the universe has burned my world to the ground because I was not listening. The only way to get me to slow down, to focus, to search for something more was to take away the distractions. Now, my world has crumbled in so many different wonderful forms that at the time I didn't recognize for what they were. For example, I got very sick for a while. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But that in itself isn't even a blip on my radar of concerns in the world. It was when it came into my life. I was at a time in my life and my career where I was just freaking skyrocketing. I was working weekends. I was getting invited to do training events that only the best in my field could go to. I wasn't taking care of myself. I had pushed all of my needs and obligations to the background in order to focus on the external, to focus on my career. I wanted to be the best. I was so driven to be the best. And I still am. That's a part of who I am. I am someone who likes to achieve at a high level. So all those little warning signs by the universe that were telling me to slow down, I ignored. I was 2 months into a 4-month training event when I found a lump in my breast. And a part of me knew instantly what it was. As soon as I found it, the thought that ran through my head is, oh shit, I cannot do this right now. I cannot have cancer right now because I have work. I can't slow down. If I slow down now, I'm going to lose all this momentum. And for a woman in that field to reach that level and to be getting recognition and to finally be getting to a place where I felt I was being accepted, that was a horrifying realization that I had cancer. So I did what any super intelligent person would do. I did nothing. I hid it. I hid it from my family. I didn't go to the doctor. It never went away from my mind, but I knew that if I told people what I found, that I would lose my spot in this training, that I would lose the job that I was aiming for after this training event. So when I finally graduated from the course and I got my new position, the first week in the new office, I had to go to the doctor. And I found out I had stage 2 breast cancer. And it was one of the aggressive varieties. So I don't even know why I'm emotional about it. It was so long ago. But what this forced me to do was to slow down and start listening to my body. I had to go through an entire year of chemotherapy. I had to prioritize my life differently. I had to prioritize my days differently. I had to start taking care of myself in a way that I never had before. And I had to recognize the importance of family and friends, and how do you balance that when you're going through something so stressful. And I saw that one for what it was, maybe about halfway through the year, that the universe was telling me to slow down, that I was giving too much of myself to the material world, to the point where I was willing to sacrifice my life, literally, in order to achieve the career that my ego was telling me that I needed in order to feel worthy. So I look back at that time and that cancer as a gift. It was the universe's way of saying that it's with me, that I'm worth so much more than I thought that I was. And that if I focused on myself, that I would be able to hear these messages from Spirit without having to hit these catastrophic walls. When you don't listen, the universe will find a way to make you listen. The messages don't go away. They don't get easier to hear. One of my husband's favorite expressions is that bad news doesn't get better with time. That is true for universal messages. So this time period and what I see happening right now and these messages that I'm getting from Spirit is that as humans, we have not been listening for too long. We are on the cusp of something absolutely magnificent. We're being offered the chance to go inside and discover who and what we really are. But in order to do that, we have to let go of what we think we need, what we think is right for ourselves. We have to let that go and just take a deep breath and listen. The universe is not being gentle with us right now because gentle wasn't working. The universe is giving us exactly what we need at this time. And that is a wall to force us to slow down. This is our wall. You are being told you cannot go to work. You cannot go to the mall. You can't go to the movies. You can't hang out with friends. You can't go on dates. You can't do any of the stuff that you would normally do to distract yourself from this. Just think about that. All of that stuff is a distraction from what is really happening, from why you're here on this planet. You are a spiritual being having a human existence. My favorite expression right now. You're having an experience in this life. This is not who and what you are. You are a divine being. So when the universe is giving you no option but to slow down and to go inside and to feel how divine you are. Have gratitude for that. Have love for that. Don't have fear. This is not a time to fear. This is the time to lean in and see what you can be. Find out who you really are. Lean into your spirituality, into your strengths, into your hobbies, into everything that you have put off because you had to go to work, because you had to pay the bills, because you had to achieve, because you had to find some way to make people respect you and to tell you you are worthy. All of that's gone. Now, how long it's gone really doesn't matter. What can you do with the time that's being given to you? This is a gift. This is a gift to all of us, just like my having cancer was a gift to me. It forced me to look at my life, look at my habits, look at what I was doing to get achievement in the material world. I had to shift my focus and ask myself, what's real? What's real for me? What do I want to achieve at? Where can I be a high achiever? Do I need to be a high achiever in this three-dimensional world? Or can I be a high achiever as a spiritual being? Can I focus my energy and my time and give my soul the attention and the love that I was giving my career? Now, I'm a huge fan and student of Edgar Cayce, who, if you're not familiar with him, he was known as the Sleeping Prophet. So Edgar Cayce was around in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and he was known as one of the greatest prophets in written history. He was known for his ability to go into the Akashic records and pull down information for people, regardless of where they were in the world, regardless of what their beliefs were, to help them to heal from medical illness, to understand their past lives, to understand their life purpose, to understand their dreams. Edgar Cayce was famous for many different things. But one of the things that he talked about that has been very, very forefront in my mind right now were some of his predictions for what humanity was going to go through. Great shifts that humanity was going to go through to bring on the golden age. So in Cayce's words, there would be great changes on the planet in the form of weather patterns, in the form of polar shifts. There would be planetary alignments that we hadn't seen before. Ancient information, ancient civilizations would be coming to the forefront of the world in a way that we had not had in the past. For example, the Dead Sea Scrolls, finding the different places that could have represented Atlantis, finding current applications for ancient traditions. His predictions about this shift included a mass exodus from the planet. The shift that is happening on the planet right now from a 3D to a 5D is forcing us to shift, to slow down, to go inside when we've been trained our entire lives to only look outside. Some souls are not going to want to do that journey. They're not going to want to make that evolutionary shift. Not in this lifetime. So one of the things Edgar Cayce talked about was that souls would leave the planet. And if you know anything about reincarnation, if you study this at all, we come into life knowing what we're signing up for. We know the challenges we're going to face. We know the lessons we have to learn. We know when we're going to leave. So this exodus of souls is not even something to fear. This is something those souls agreed to before they ever came down. This is a choice. That doesn't make death any less sad for those of us who remain here. It is hard to lose people you love. It's incredibly hard. I know this. But consider how different it would feel if you believed and you understood that those people were choosing to leave. They weren't lost. They weren't being stolen. They weren't being taken against their will. They're choosing to leave the earth at this planet at this time so that the earth can make its shift. And the souls that remain on this planet are a part of the shift of the planet. They have an active role in the shift. They have agreed to stay and to work and to grow and to lead others, to merge forces like an army of light to help the planet ascend at this time. And the souls that have left will come back to a new planet, an ascended planet, and their souls will come back at a higher level. They won't need to go through the same ascension pains that a lot of us are experiencing right now. That is their journey. There's no right, there's no wrong, it's not better, it's not worse, it's their journey. So Edgar Cayce predicted that mass exodus of souls. Now, how that mass exodus was going to happen, there's a lot of different theories. But the gigantic shifts were not something to fear. They were something showing the light workers on this planet that we were on the right path, that we had done the work that had needed to be done in order for this planet to ascend. The planet is ascending. You are ascending. The loss is hard for all of us. The fear is not going to go away. It's something you have to work through. But never forget that you are a divine being having a human experience. Your soul chose to be here at this time, and it chose right. You are exactly where you're meant to be. So take this universal gift of time and focus on yourself. Slow down. Focus on yourself. Focus on growing spiritually, on growing into the person that you've always wanted to be. We all have an ideal in life that we cling to as children and we forget as we grow. Who is your ideal? Who is the person you've always wanted to be? What is the job you've always wanted to do? What is your passion? Do that. The universe has given you time to do this. Connect with the community on the internet. This is endless. You have endless reach into every piece of information that was ever written on this planet. You have endless reach into spiritual leaders that have already changed the world, as well as upcoming spiritual leaders that are popping up every single day. This is the time of the light worker. If you are watching this, if you resonate with this, you already know what you are. Embrace that, lean into it. Have gratitude for this time, for this gift, for this ability to go inside and to help with the ascension of the planet. You are a warrior of light. Nobody said that this was going to be a painless experience. We knew that coming in. But damn if we're not strong enough to handle it. And you're not alone. You're never alone. You have your guides, you have the angels, you have spirits, you have your family, you have your friends. You have connection to billions of light workers across this planet that you will never meet, but who are connected with you all the same. Don't fear this time. Lean into it. This is the time of growth for you. This is the time of growth for me. We have so much that we can give to ourselves. And now we have the time to do it. I hope you are all staying here, staying centered. Don't spin with the world. You are not confused about what's happening. And here you know what's happening. You accept what's happening. You are grateful for what is happening. Because it is taking this entire planet and every being on it where it needs to go. Where we have been trying to get for 26,000 years. We're back. We are back at the level of ascension that we haven't seen since the time of Lemuria. This is an exciting, amazing, amazing time. Find however you need to connect. Stop listening with this. Start listening with this. This will never lie to you. So if this message resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, don't. I am connected with you in a way that even I don't understand. We are one in a way that most souls can't even understand because of the time that we agreed to come here together. We agreed to this massive, massive mission to save the world. We are going to save the world together. I am excited for that opportunity. I am grateful for that opportunity. I am grateful for every single time the universe smacked me down because I was not listening. And I promise to be a better listener in the future. So do not fear. Don't give in to what is happening around you. Go inside and find out what's happening in here. This is the truth. So until next time, my beautiful, beautiful soul family, light and love. Be safe, be kind, take care of each other. The more you focus here, the less everything else will matter. Namaste.